Today we're going to take a scanned image of a paper graph, a weave that was done on graph paper, and we're going to convert it for use in PicToWeave. So we'll go and open our original image as it came off the scanner, and if we zoom in we can see that around the edge we have handwritten numbers to show how big the original image was. And in this case it was 77 by 99 cells. So I need to write that down because we need to make the grid in PicToWeave represent the same size. So what we'll do now is we'll select the area that we want to keep, and we just left click and drag over the area. Now we're using a piece of software called View. Different kinds of graphic software use different methods to do this, but what we're going to do is crop this image. So we need to set our selection so that we've got exactly the grid size and nothing more, and once we've got that pretty right, we'll go edit crop selection, and you can see we've removed all those numbers etc. around the outside. Now what we'll do now is we'll go and resize our image to see if we've got it exactly right. Now we'll set our width to a multiple of 77. In this case I'll go to 770, and because we've got preserve aspect ratios set here, any changes we make to the width will automatically be made to the height as well. And you can see as soon as I change that that number to 770, the width went to 990. So what that tells me is we selected exactly the right size on the original image. Had I been slightly out, this number here would have come up slightly different. Now you can be 1 or 2 pixels out, but if you find it's much more than that, then you need to go back and redo your selection. So now that we've got our resizing done, all we need to do is rotate this image, because on the finished weave we want these lilies to appear at the tip end of the rod, and the stems here to be at the butt end. Now PicToWeave expects that the weave be done with the butt of the rod on your left hand side as you're facing it, and that you start the weave from left to right. So the left list will be numbered from 1 through to however many the grid size is from left to right. So what we'll do is rotate this image to the right so that we have our lily stems on the left and our lily pads at the right. So we'll save this image as our modified image, and then that's ready for importation into PicToWeave. If you're one of the people that prefers to weave from right to left, you can still do so. What you need to do is flip this image, horizontal flip, and then when you import it into PicToWeave, your left list will still be worked out from left to right. Now there's 1 through to 99, but when you weave it on the rod you can start from the right. So number 1 will be here through to 99, so you'll end up with the pattern showing up the right way on the rod. It just depends on whether you want to work from left to right or right to left, but as default PicToWeave works from left to right. So we'll go ahead now and start PicToWeave. Now the first thing we need to do is to ensure that the stretch factor in PicToWeave is set to 1.0, and that will ensure that our grid sizes remain the same. As long as we keep these 2 thread sizes the same, our grid sizes will be square, which is important when you're working from a a design that was done on graph paper, because the grid sizes in the graph paper will have been square. It's assumed when you use graph paper that that you'll alter the thread sizes when you do the actual weave to achieve a proportional weave. The reason being that the wrap thread here, when it's put on the rod, is under tension, so it will stretch and become smaller. So a plain A thread, which may be somewhere around 0.15 of a millimeter in diameter, when it's not under tension, will probably reduce down to more like 0.12 or so when it is under tension. PicToWeave takes that into account, but on the older graph paper type patterns, it had to be left up to the expertise of the weaver to work that out. So what we'll do is we'll turn off our maintain aspect ratio here, and we'll set this grid up so that it's the same size as the original pattern. So we'll just scroll up until we've got 77 here and 99 across. Just a few more. Okay, now that grid's ready to go, we'll just go ahead and import our modified image, and you can see that it's come in pretty much spot on between the old graph and the new. You can expect with a handwritten grid that there'll be some areas like this where there's some colouring slightly outside the squares, little areas like this, but it's not enough to worry about. We can clearly see what the intention of the designer was, and we can go ahead now and simply select our chosen colours and start painting that particular grid. So we might select a dark brown, sorry, for this area, and it's simply a matter of just colouring in the same spots as the original pattern, and you can see that quite quickly you can recreate the original. So on larger areas we can use the control key and flood fill these areas so they can be painted very, very quickly. Just make sure we don't go too far. And then we can go back and just, using the shift key, paint in the smaller areas. So very, very quickly you can start to develop a recreation of the older pattern. So any time and money that you've invested in the old patterns need not go to waste. Now we can fill that with our background colour and just get a quick idea of how we're progressing here. We'll just do a quick preview, and you can see the pattern starting to take shape there. Still a long way to go, but to give you the idea. Similarly, we can do a quick run with our left list, and we can see here 10 and 14 are our two design threads in use throughout that whole area there, and when we get to here it changes to 9 and 14, so on and so on, until we get down to the area of the body. So as I said, very quickly you start to see it come to shape. Our colours are starting to build up here, so it's simply a matter of carrying on selecting your various colours and filling in the filling in the areas. Anytime you do the wrong thing, if you click on the same cell twice with the same colour, it erases that colour. So that's how we bring a paper grid into PicToWeave.